So here we go again. Roll up for the Chan. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not that hyped for this tournament. This tournament's all about East Africa, firstly, and secondly, it's all about what players from Algeria that play in the local league are good enough to maybe go to the Arab Cup and maybe with the outside chance of the AFCON, but mainly considering they're managed by Bougherra again, he's looking at what players in this squad would he take to the Arab Cup where the level's going to be a little bit higher and he can combine his squad with players playing in Saudi and Qatar and places like that and even in Tunisia as well. So this is the Chan. I think there was a lot more hype for the last Chan because we were the hosts and we just had the Nelson Mandela Stadium opening and we were having every game sold out. Of course, this is in East Africa, in Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, which is going to be the three hosts for AFCON 2027. So for East Africa, it's huge. How big is football there? Can they successfully host a competition? And how good are their facilities ahead of AFCON 2027 in 2 years' time in the summer? So they've kind of got it to prepare for that AFCON they're hosting from a facilities point of view and an infrastructure point of view. Now, there's four groups. Some have got 5 teams. Some have got 4 teams. A bit weird, but it's a lot simpler after that. It's the top 2 from every group will go to the quarterfinals. Whether you've got 4 teams, whether you've got 5 teams in the group, first and second will be going through to the quarterfinal stage. And each of the hosts are in a different group. So we've got Tanzania, who are in a group, and they had a very good atmosphere and attendance where they beat Burkina Faso 2-0. You've got Kenya, again, good attendance, and they're a host nation. They beat DR Congo 1-0. And you've got Uganda, who are going to play in Kampala on Monday evening, and they're going to be playing against Algeria. This is going to be a good indicator of how good are these Algeria locals, because I, for one, have said for a long time they are nowhere near good enough, and the best Algerians in the Algerian league end up playing somewhere else in North Africa or go to the Middle East. Hence why the Arab Cup's quite nice, because you can blend the best of the Algerian league with the best of Algerians playing in the MENA region, Middle East, North Africa. So, who's going to be good? Well, once again, Bougherra's come back. He managed in the last Chan, which was at home, where Mahious was 1 penalty kick away from actually winning the whole thing. And I think Algeria lost to Senegal in that final. I remember doing it on here. We didn't concede a single goal. We didn't concede a single, just like the Algeria women at the women's AFCON just gone. They didn't concede a single goal. They went out. Algeria didn't concede a single goal under Bougherra last time in the Chan. And they went out in the final on penalty to Senegal. And that Senegal, a lot of those players have gone on to bigger and better things. You look at Lamine Camara, who was very good then, is now at Monaco, went to Metz in between. So he's going to be an absolute superstar. You've got players like Bissouma that have played in Chan before as well. But I don't see the big Algerian talent there. Of course, Bougherra has called upon Mahious again in here. And you've got other players that have got good experience, like Chetty, the defender, and Halimi, who's played in Europe. There's some all right players there. You've got Boujemma and Mergem, who were both meant to be big prospects born in France and at French clubs and have moved to the Algerian league as well. You've got Mazien and Mahious making up the attack. I think the problem here is, which is pretty much what I said at the start of the video, the best Algerian league talent leaves Algeria very early. So we don't have that much good talent left. I know Mahious went to Switzerland, he's come back. And honestly, he needed to go away and sort his head out after what happened. Because in that Chan, Mahious was amazing. He was one of the top scorers, if not the top scorer. You're thinking, wow, will Belmadi take a look at Mahious? And that ridiculous penalty for me just showed a complete change of mentality. You can't be doing that when it's the kick to win. Can you imagine Mahrez doing that in an AFCON final to win the penalty? You can't be doing that. So there was that. And the big one is Parado Boulbina. Now, Boulbina is someone Petkovic has been having some demands of calling up, and we were thinking, okay, Boulbina was a top scorer in the Algerian league at Parado last season. Let's see what he does at the Chan. He's gone to Qatar. He's gone to the Middle East, so he can't even play in this. So this could have been a real breakthrough tournament for Boulbina. Now he's gone to Qatar. Now, of course, Bougherra can call on him in FIFA Arab Cup come December. But this would have been really good just to see how good he was, because if you're saying he's the best player in this league, let's see what he can do. So yeah, so that's how the Algeria squad is looking. I mean, the problem is, the goalkeepers aren't that good, because of course last time the keeper for Chan was Gendouzi, if you remember rightly, and Gendouzi went to Iran, so he couldn't play. But now it looks like he's going to go back to Mouloudia. And of course you've got Ben Bourta Yusma as well, who is so part of the national team main setup with Petkovic. They don't want to put him in this. So these aren't even the best goalkeepers. I know Madjid and Bougherra have been in Algeria squads before, but not played. So, it's not great. But this is going to be a true assessment of how good are these local players compared to the rest of Africa. Because everyone else is picking only players from local clubs. I mean, some of the squads are diabolical. South Africa squad, for example, you think, okay, most of the squads at Sundowns, whatever, they've not picked them. South Africa have picked a bunch of players that don't even have clubs at the moment. Doesn't mean you've got to pick the best of the best. So Algeria literally went and picked the best of the best at the clubs, and it still might not be enough. But there's going to be one or two, like last time, like maybe Mahious, Ganduz, Mrazig, who can make a name for themselves. Even Abdellaoui last time was great. I don't even think he's here either. Who can make a name for themselves and take a claim to go to the Arab Cup and test Algerian locals against locals from other leagues in Europe. So Uganda, of course, away is not going to be easy because they're the host nation. They're one of the teams playing at home. They'll be looking to win the tournament as well in Kampala. We know all about Kampala. I've played many a qualifier there too. But looking across the board, Group A has Morocco, Kenya, Zambia, DR Congo and Angola. With the quality of the locals, you probably think, okay, Kenya and Morocco will get out of that group. You've got Tanzania, Mauritania, Madagascar, Central African Republic and Burkina Faso. Honestly, not sure. Wouldn't surprise me if it was Tanzania and Madagascar. But a lot of these nations, the good locals, like I say, they go abroad very quickly. Algeria's group, on paper, looks quite tough with South Africa, Guinea, Niger and Uganda. It's also interesting to see how can Algerian players, North African players deal with the East African climates. South Africa didn't take a great squad. Guinea, I'm not sure about. Niger got to the semis last time, didn't they? Got the semi-finals, and I think we actually beat them like 5-0. And Uganda, of course, are the host nation in the first game for Algeria, so that's a difficult start. And then Group D has only got 4 teams: Senegal, Nigeria, Congo, Brazzaville and Sudan. Again, hard to call. If Senegal are the reigning champions, of course, but a lot of that team have now left. It's all about generation foot for them. And how good are the Sudanese locals in that as well? Nigeria, I think, have Eric Shell doing their team as well. So there's some subplots and stories, but I think ultimately I'm not too bothered. If Algeria went out in the group stage, I don't think anyone would practically, cry about it. FIFA Arab Cup's different. That's the creme de la creme of the Arab world. But Chan's not a big deal. Chan's about developing local talent, and CAF saying, you know what, we know most of the national teams are now made up of players not playing in Africa because of how good these guys are. They deserve to play in the best leagues in the world, but they want to celebrate the best of the local talent. And I'm all for that, and it will generate them revenue, and they're giving football to parts of Africa that don't usually see it. East Africa get the Chan and get the AFCON in 2 years' time. But I can't see Algeria, as good as a coach Bougherra is, he couldn't even win the one at home. So I'd be shocked if this set of players won the tournament. I'd love to prove wrong, but let's wait and see. So you're going to watch the Chan, you're going to not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Wouldn't shock me at all if Uganda won this game either. You can see the previous 2 host nations have already won their opener. But let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.